As if Doug and I don't get into enough big hands. Here's another one. We wake up with the ladies. This session has been incredible so far, so please do not let this be a cooler. We decided to 3-bet them to 1100. Doug knows we have plenty of medium and large pairs, but also suited connectors and random aces. Heads up to a flop of ace king queen, which smashes my 3-bet range.
Quite the flop here.
My goodness.
JWIN, you gonna pair this board or what?
Hey winners, welcome back to Vlog 7. Today's game is going to take place at the Lodge in Round Rock, Texas. The game is going to be 25, 50, 100. And the lineup is fire. If you want to see more great hands like the one before and a whole bunch that I got curated for you today, stay tuned because Vlog 7 is going to be the best one yet. And oh, one more thing. Make sure you stick to the end because I have a big announcement and I really want to tell you what's in this box. All right, y'all. Enjoy the hands. I'll talk to you in a bit. It's been 30 minutes and we finally have a playable hand. We open with the ladies in the +2, 250 bucks. We get called by Jake, Doug, and High. That's 4 of us in a Texas heads up match. The flop comes 5-4-2, 2 hearts. High leads out into 3 people, so we should have a lot of big hands here. Still, our hand is way too strong. We put in a call for $600. When Jake puts in a call too, we're in a really tough position as Jake has all of the big draws as well as sets and possible straights in his range. The pot is now 2.8k going to the turn. On a turn card of 10 of clubs, High continues with the bet, this time for half pot. In the moment, I felt like I picked up a live read that he was protecting his hand more than trying to get value. I also have a lot of history with High and felt like he would have taken a check raise line if he had something better versus donking out. For this reason, I put in another call. When the action is on Jake, he puts in a huge raise to 5.5k. Gross. Obviously, I'm in a miserable spot as my range consists mostly of bluff catchers, and it's really difficult for me to have a straight. But as I thought more closely about the hand, I felt like 2 pieces of information was vital. Number 1, High doesn't donk out with nothing. I felt like he had at least a 1-pair draw combination, like ace-5, 6-5, 7-5, 6-4 of hearts, etc. So if he had one of those hands, he's blocking some set combinations. This makes it less likely that Jake has a set or even 2 pairs, as 2-pair combos should be doing a lot of raising on the flop. And 2, I don't have any hearts, so I unblock all of the flush draw bluffs that would have flatted. I've also had some time observing Jake's play, and I've noticed that he aggressively goes after pots. He wasn't named WPT's Player of the Year for no reason after all. So here we are facing a big turn raise. If I call turn, I'm never folding river. So it's really either an all-in jam or a fold right here. Thinking about all the information I had, I decided to just put it in. We didn't get a snap call, so I immediately knew I was okay. It only takes a few seconds before Jake lets go of his hand. Glad I was able to take down my first big pot of the night. For our bravery, we get rewarded with ace-king off. It's an easy open from us, and we're feeling good about our positional advantage when it continues to fold, all the way to Chaz in a straddle position. He makes the call and we go heads up to the flop. The flop comes ace-queen-7, 2 clubs. Awesome. We have top and it's safe to go for a bet when Chaz checks it over. We start with the C bet of a 3rd. Chaz makes the call. When the turn completes the front door flush, we have a couple of options. We can either bet or check it back and play river. When Chaz checks it over, I decided that I'm going to continue betting, trying to get value from weaker aces and some queen X hands. I continue to bet a small sizing of a 3rd. This is the sizing I would have used on most of my value hands, including flushes, sets, etc. In hindsight, I have to have a stronger check back range against great players, so I can call river donks. Anyway, we bet a small size and get check raised to 1150. Yikes. I don't have any clubs in hand and the big blind calling range has a lot of flushes in them. I decide that I don't want to have to call down here, and I give up on the hand. Again, really disappointed in that turn bet. Chaz isn't someone I want to reopen the action to, and I paid the price. Pretty impressed with the move he made when I later found out what he had.
What's up, guys? How to stay focused the whole entire game, and I didn't want to leave the table to record any footage. Yeah, the game's going well so far. We're winning a few pots, but tough lineup, super tough lineup. Obviously throughout this video, I'm gonna try to introduce you guys to a few of the pros around the state and the country. It's been really fun, man. On pace to have one of our best games ever. Pretty exciting. Hopefully we can hold. There's still a few more hours left and we want to play until the end. Hopefully we'll get some good hands.
We're currently up 6.7k for the session. In the next hand, we get into it with Chaz again. It folds to Chaz in a cutoff and he opens it up to 300. Against cutoff, button should be quite aggressive and seek to isolate and play in position. So we 3-bet him to 1K. Against a button 3-bet, cutoff should pure 4-bet queens and up and some of his best aces. He can also mix in some of the suited 10s, but I don't really see this in live poker. A bulk part of his playable hands would just put in a call. Think about all of the middling pairs, suited aces, etc. When Chaz puts in a 4-bet to 3.2K, I'm aware of the range we're facing. Again, queens and up, ace king, ace queen suited. But at these stack depths, jack 10 suited is a pure call. And besides, for the vlog, the board comes jack 6-5 rainbow. It's a good start. On a jack high board, I'm not surprised Chaz would check it over to us. We never want to make this a 3-street game, so we immediately check it back. Turn comes in a king of hearts, giving us a backdoor flush draw. This time, our opponent bets 1/3. Although he has all of the nutted hands on his board, the price is too good to ever give up here. We make the insta call and await the river. Now, if you're liking what you're seeing so far, hit the like button one time for JWIN. Thanks for the like, y'all, but unfortunately, we brick out. On a 3 of clubs river, our opponent checks it back to us. We think for a little and even tell him that we should never be checking it here. But we just go ahead and take our showdown value here. He turns over his queens and we lose an 11K pot. I'm pretty happy with our play here. I mean, taking showdown on our opponent's check bet check line, it isn't a big blunder. However, this line from our opponent is really weak and we have to polarize in spots where our opponent has capped his range. If I can work on the spot more often and recognize weak betting patterns, I'm gonna be a much better player. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this hand as much as I did. Speaking of enjoyment, you know what I enjoy? Getting back some of my money. There's an early position raised to 300. It folds around a Big Daddy Chaz who pumps it up to 1.1K. It's pretty difficult to play jacks in the small blind in this configuration, but if you call it Pocket JWINs, magical things happen. We decide to isolate with the twins and 4-bet it to 4K. EP folds and Chaz puts in the call. On a flop of Ace Jack 8, 2 hearts. Now, if you liked the video earlier, thank you for manifesting this set right here. And if you haven't liked the video yet, give it a like. It'll ensure that I run hot for the rest of this episode. So back to the flop. We have middle set, aka the best set. We unblock a ton of 3-bet hands that would also smooth call 4-bets, like ace king, ace queen, ace jack, etc. No need to slow play. We see bet 1/3, around $2,800, targeting top pair. Unfortunately, he folds, but we get back some of our money. So I got many more hands to go through, but wanted to take a quick minute to ask Big Daddy Chaz some questions. Let me know if you like these small breaks where I ask these poker pros lightning round questions, and hit me up in the comments and let me know what you want me to ask next time.
Yo, what's up, guys? We're getting joined by Chaz, the poker pro in the Austin and San Antonio circuit. What's up, Chaz?
What's going on, man?
All right, we got him just for a quick minute before we got to go to the game, so we're gonna do a lightning round, 3 quick questions.
Okay, cool.
Cool. PLO or hold'em?
Hold them, for sure. Oh, yeah.
Would you rather play Jack 10 suited or Ace 6 suited?
Oh, give me the Jack 10, for sure. Get the streets a little bit with it, you know?
Yep. Poker advice for anybody coming up right now in the 1, 2, 2, 5 streets.
Just be open to learning. I think that's the biggest thing. Always be trying to improve. Talk to people who are better than you at poker. I think that's the biggest thing for me. Always make sure you're talking to people who are better than you at poker.
Awesome. Thanks, Chaz. Appreciate it, man.
Okay, so this hand is gonna be quick, but it's part of my study process, so I might as well share it. In this hand, it folds to high who opens his cutoff to 300. I'm in a small blind with ace 10 off, which should be a fold. At 100 big blinds, the worst offsuit ace I should 3-bet is ace queen, so ace 10 off is way too wide. In my slight defense, my opponent does open wide from all positions, so I could probably get away with this, but not something I want to do on a regular. High makes the call, and now we're just in trouble with a difficult hand to play out of position. The flop is ace 8 deuce, 2 hearts. We're bailed out by an ace, which is awesome. However, this needs to be a pure check, and for us to reduce this to a 1 or 2 street game. Most of his aces are going to be better, and his heir is never going to call 3 streets anyway. I'm sharing this hand because it's a good reminder to stay disciplined to ranges, and if we deviate, to have a good reason and a plan. I don't care for the 3-bet, and I don't like that I compounded my mistakes with a C-bet. But it's all about having a growth mindset and finding improvement opportunities every session. We take this pot down, really lucky to do so. Let's not make these types of mistakes again. Why play another hand with someone else when Chaz is giving all the action? So he opens his cutoff to 300. We're on the button and we can either 3-bet or call. This time we do the latter. Jake's on a straddle and he closes the action. We're going 3 ways to the flop. The flop is ace king 8 rainbow. Jake checks it to the pre-flop aggressor who puts in a 50% bet. $500. With a larger C-bet size, I felt like I got good information. Does he ever have aces, kings, 8-8, ace king, or ace 8 here? Most likely not, as we wouldn't be using that large of a sizing. In the moment, my read was that this was a draw and not a bet for value, so I make the call. The turn brings in a 3 of diamonds. We still have top pair, but now have upgraded to the nut flush draw. Our opponent bets $1,500. It's a nice size and feels very value-y, but I can't fold here, so I make the call. We get to the river, which is a 7 of clubs. Big Daddy Chaz finally sizes up to 60%, 3.2k. After tanking for 90 seconds,
he's up heaps. He can definitely afford this call. He's just wondering if his kicker problems is going to kill him.
We put in a call. There were several key factors why I had to, and I even called out the fact that I put him on Queen Jack, Queen 10, or Jack 10. Let me know in the comments why you think I had to make this call. I got a surprise for the person with the best answer. Anyway, huge 11.4k pot coming our way. Let's go, winners. We're on our A game today. In the next hand, high opens from the +1 to 350. We look down to a pretty hand, Ace Jack of Hearts. Here, we can either 3-bet or smooth call. It's worth noting that I should call more often if the players to my left are tighter, and 3-bet more often if they're aggressive. This time, we elect to call. It folds around to Doug in a straddle, and he closes the action. 3 ways to the flop, which comes 9-4-2 rainbow. High puts in a C-bet to 600. On a disconnected 9 high board, High should miss the board an awful lot. I also believe he's over C-betting a lot, so with 2 overs and a backdoor flush, I can peel one. When Doug calls, it's quite possible that Doug has top pair or a good draw like 6-5 of hearts. But we know it's likely to not be too strong, as his best hands would be check raising against 2 others. The turn is a 4 of hearts, giving us a backdoor nut flush draw. Doug checks it first, and High puts in another bet, this time for 2k. It feels like top pair or even an overpair like 10s, but we're still getting a pretty good price against High's full range. I put in a call, and Doug folds. Alright, poker gods, let me use my one time here. Give me a heart, and not only will the audience like this video, they'll also smash the subscribe button, which helps feed the YouTube algorithm and support hardworking content creators like myself. I hold my breath for what feels like 2 minutes, and there we go. We complete the backdoor flush. Let's see what our opponent does. It doesn't take long for High to bet. He triple barrels with 6k on the river. He could have some suited connecting hearts like 10-9 or 6-5, or he can still have all the overpairs like 10s on up. That would still play it the same way. It's an amazing opportunity for us to just go for the jam, as we have a ton of worse hands that would still call. We go all in, and unfortunately High insta-mucks. I'm actually seeing this hand for the first time. Not surprised he would triple barrel with 10 high. He has a lot of heart and I respect it. However, it does confirm that I need to continue more on disconnected flops against this opponent.
JWIN up 18.8 after that one.
McLovin opens it up to 250 in the cutoff. High calls in a small blind, and I have an easy call with ace deuce of clubs. We're going 3 ways to the flop. 8-8-5 2 clubs. Great flop for us, but High kicks it off by donk betting 400. An 8 never leads out here in my opinion, so I can either raise or call as we have the most 8s out of us 3. I decide to call because McLovin is likely to fold with 2 people driving the action in front of him. And also, High is capping his range to small pairs. McLovin folds, and we're off to a turn. The turn is a 9 of diamonds, completing a straight, which we're also more likely to have. This time, High slows down and checks it to us. It's fine for us to bet here, but I feel like we can also bet pretty profitably on any river, club, or higher. With so many rivers I can bet, I decided to just check it back. The river doesn't give us a club, but it does give us a 10. When he checks it to us, we're happy to execute our plan. We put in a pot-sized bet, and we're happy to get a fold. One more for the good guy. Time to get into a hand with Jake Ferro, WPT Player of the Year. There's a 200 straddle on, so he opens his hijack to 600. It folds to us in the first straddle, and we put in the call. Sean's in the second straddle and closes the action. 3 ways to the flop. The flop's pretty good. Ace 5-4 2 diamonds, giving us top pair nut flush draw. We check it to Jake and he c-bets 1/3 pot, $600. It's an easy call for us, but we didn't expect Sean to join the party too. At this point, I'm thinking straight draws, other diamond draws, and better top pairs. The turn is a 5 of hearts. It's a good card to neutralize a lot of betting, as no one would want to bet into trips. Again, Sean surprises us as he now leads out for 1.6k. Jake also calls. It's very possible for either of them to have a boat already, but the price is too good and we join the party. The river is a 6 of diamonds, completing the front door flush. I thought about leading out, maybe like a blocker size, but it's too easy for ace-x combos to fold, but also easy for 5x combos to bluff a boat. I decide to just play it as a check call. When Sean checks it too, we're now fairly sure we have the best hand and hope that Jake bets the flushes in his range. But he just checks and we win the hand. Another big pot headed our way.
Hey, what's up, guys? Super lucky in front of Jake Ferro, who is the WPT Player of the Year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, awesome. We only got a minute because you got to go, but lightning round, Jake.
Yes, sir.
What hand would you rather 3-bet with? Ace-7 suited or 5-4 suited?
I'm a 5-4 kind of guy, man. For sure.
What is your favorite over bet and why?
Blocker. You know, just having a blocker and just bombing river. You know, yeah. That's kind of it. Yep.
Yep. Cash or tournament?
Tourney, man. I'm a tourney guy. Yeah, tourney for sure. It's
right,
different element for sure.
Nice. And then final question, what advice do you have for new poker players coming up in the circuit, whether it's cash or tourney?
Bankroll management is key. That's number one in terms of me. I used to take shots all the time, but do it within your means. Don't get too crazy, man. For sure.
All right, that's huge. Just one last thing, man. Jake, I've only been playing with you for a couple of days, but I learned so much just watching you. So, hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Good luck,
man. Yeah, for sure.
As if Doug and I don't get into enough big hands, here's another one. For context, there's also a small blind any game, where every button adds $100 to the chip, and only the small blind can win what's on top. At this point, there's $700 extra in the pot for the small blind. So it folds to Doug in the hijack and he opens it up to $250. We're in the small blind and we wake up with the ladies. This session has been incredible so far, so please do not let this be a cooler. We decided to 3-bet him to $1,100. Doug knows we have plenty of medium and large pairs, but also suited connectors and random aces. And reminder that there's $700 we should try to win. So he makes a loose call with what we later heard was Jack 10 off. This is highly relevant, but we'll get to that in a second. Heads up to a flop of Ace King Queen, which smashes my 3-bet range. If I bet here, it'll fold a significant portion of his range. With no flush draw on board, I'm okay to check it and play a 2-street game. Doug leads out with a 2/3 sizing, 1.6k. He'd be doing this with all of his 4 combos of Jack 10, 6 combos of Ace Queen or King Queen, 9 combos of Ace King, and maybe some backdoor Ace flush draws. Ace 5, Ace 6, Ace 7 of hearts, that kind of stuff. I could check raise him now, but we're 300 big blinds deep and any error could be catastrophic. Keep in mind, I'm also worried about better set combos that could be slow playing. I make the call and I plan to play turn and river. On an 8 of hearts turn, as played, I'm indifferent on whether or not I should lead out. I still think Doug's range is fairly polarizing here, and I don't want to chase any worse hands. I check it to Doug, and he bets 2/3 again. 3.9k this time. We have a backdoor flush to worry about now, but if it's a flush draw we're up against, we're still way ahead. We put in the call. The river is a king of hearts. I'm actually not sure if I wanted the board to pair or not, given the combos I mentioned earlier. But when the action goes check-check, I'm actually ecstatic to get a win. I found out Doug flopped a straight, which was actually surprising, given that I never expected for him to call a pre-flop 3-bet with all 16 combos of Jack 10. Anyway, there was much discussion on whether or not I should have bet this river. I can make a really strong case why I shouldn't, but would love to hear from you all. Did I miss out on value here? What worse hands do we actually get to call? Let me know in the comment section. Last hand of the night, we put the double straddle on. It folds to Jake in a cutoff and he raises it to 500. We actually missed a 3-bet opportunity here, but it was the last hand of the night and I didn't want to go crazy. But I know, process matters. Anyway, we're heads up to a flop which comes queen 6-3, 2 spades. We check it at Jake and he bets a 3rd pot, $400. With Jack high only, we don't have any showdown value. But we do have a lot of good bluffs and a whole bunch of turn cards that we can double barrel on. On a queen high 2-low card board, we can easily represent top pair, any of the bottom sets, or some combo draw. We decide to raise it with an intention to barrel if we hit a 9, king, or diamond. Fortunately, it doesn't go that far. To Jake's credit, he actually stuck around for a little bit with his king high, trying to find my bluffs. We actually had a little laugh about it after, where he felt like he could have made it play. But no thank you, buddy. I'll take this one. Hey guys, I hope you guys enjoyed vlog 7, and if you're at this part of the video, you're probably wondering what's in this little box. I do have an important announcement to make, but first, let's review some of the box's contents. Boom, that looks good. Guys, I have an important announcement to make. I've officially signed on with PokerCoaching.com to serve as its brand ambassador as well as coach for Live Cash. If you guys know anything about my journey, I started playing poker in 2019, and maybe 2 to 3 weeks later, I started getting really into it and wanting to learn strategy. So doing some Google and YouTube searches, I found PokerCoaching.com and I became a paid subscriber right away. In fact, last month, I just got a annual subscription renewal. So Jonathan Little, if you're seeing this video right now and want to give me a refund because now I work for you, feel free. But yeah, if you guys been following my journey, you guys know that in 2019, I started playing 1-2 and then just moved up the ranks fairly quickly from there. And I contributed such a big part of my success to learning how to play fundamental poker correctly from day one, and obviously putting in a lot of hard work. Anyway, I do want to keep this portion short. I just want y'all to know that now we're gonna have the resources, the energy, the people. We're gonna have what's needed to turn this channel into a great poker content hub. There are so many ideas that I have, from strategy to entertainment content, and I think you guys are gonna really enjoy it. So look, stick around me for a little bit. I'll share more plans in a separate video, and if you haven't already, like this video, hit the subscribe. Let's go ahead and build a really good channel for y'all. Anyway, y'all have a great weekend, weekday, poker session, whatever. I love you guys. Thanks for sticking with me. Jonathan Little, Justin Saliba, thank you guys for the opportunity. We're gonna do some great freaking work together. All right, guys, run well out there. Peace.